Hi Siri, I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of PodUp with Mathews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Mathews has a show every weekday. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Good morning. It's a Home Day edition, a live edition, SEC Media Day edition of PodUp with Mathews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios, the only diamond and jewelry partner of the Florida Gators. Florida Gators will be in Atlanta, the College Football Hall of Fame today. Billy Napier speaks around 1 o'clock-ish, I think. You have Alabama, Mississippi State, the Gators, and the Oklahoma Sooners today. All-Star game went into a home run derby, mini home run derby. I think the National League won it. I watched about 2 innings of it. Let's see what this guy did. JC, we're taking them more hotline courtesy of Comfort. Yeah. Did you watch any of the All-Star game?
I mean, as much as I could by staying awake. I had to travel yesterday, so I got home and
JC, you ran back from Chicago.
Oh God! And then I ran back, and then I went to dinner. Of course, we had to get spaghetti and meatballs, and then when I got home, it was tough to keep the eyelids open. But I did see Brett Rooker hit a big home run for the American League to cut the lead from 6-0 to 6-3. And then apparently they tied the damn game up at 6, and they decided somebody out there, which I think is probably a good idea because nobody wants to hang around at an All-Star game. They want to get out of there and start enjoying their 2 days off before they start playing again on Friday. And so they did a home run derby in the interest of time, and Kyle Schwarber was the better home run hitter. So I don't know if that means the American League or the National League, really won the game, but
National League won. National League gets the win.
I know they won because of Schwarber. He hit these home runs in a home run derby format. So I guess that means they win.
Yeah,
but the game was tied.
Here's what I took out of the 10 minutes that I watched.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
So I turned it on. It had not started because they have to go through all their dancing and rapping, and I don't know why they have to do all this stuff with these artists, right?
I don't know.
Just introduce the players, sing the national anthem, let's play ball. The only good thing that came out of the All-Star game is they wore their normal uniforms, except the kid from the Rays and the catcher who won for the Mariners, who won the home run derby contest. Those jokers brought their dark colored jerseys, didn't wear their gray jerseys. They were the only ones that had dark colored jerseys on. That bothered me.
Cal Raleigh, yeah. Well, those little things, QB. But I thought after it was 6-0, I would have thought most people would have turned it off right then and there. But Rooker comes up. He went to Mississippi State. Yeah, he comes up and hits a 3-run home run, and the 6th, I think it was, and that kind of got everybody back into it. If you had just turned it on, which is what I did, I literally just turned it on right before he did that. So anyway, that's over with now. I guess that means that the National League representative in the World Series will have home field advantage. Is that still a thing? Do they still do that? If they do, that means it's probably going to be, the Dodgers or the Phillies.
Here's another tidbit that I learned for the 10 minutes that I watched last night. I had no idea in the world that the Detroit Tigers have the best record in baseball.
Best record in baseball, largest win margin, and they also are about 12, 13 games ahead in the division.
That's your division, by the way. No.
They're in the Central anymore. They're in the Central.
Yeah, they used to be with the Yankees.
That was when they had 2 divisions in each league, but then they added a bunch of teams. QB, you're only about 25 years behind.
I know, but
okay.
It's okay. It's such. I'd watch playoff baseball. Yeah. All right. So yesterday, Arch Manning and the Longhorns were there. I don't know if you saw this, JC.
I was on a plane.
So Greg Sankey, he tells a little bit about each head coach, and then he introduces them, and they walk up to the podium.
There you go.
So our man Sarkisian walks up from the back of the stage up to the stage, shaking hands to Greg Sankey to the Texas A&M fight song.
To the Texas A&M fight song.
Yes.
Now, that producer or student intern probably won't be asked to come back.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, actually. That's actually quite
But here's the
funny.
thing.
But that's not good.
Sarkeesian never said a word.
He didn't even. I
He
bet
didn't.
you.
He just went straight to his speech.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God.
Well, some of these coaches, dude, they're so programmed. I mean, what's Billy really going to say today? So I just think that it's up to the media. It's up to the guys like us to ask an interesting question, or else these guys are not going to give you much. They're programmed not to give you anything.
Well, I listened to Sarkeesian. Boy, I like him a lot.
And he's a great play caller. Yeah, he's been to the
Well, not just a play caller, just the way he talks. They didn't have a spring game, so people were talking about like, do you think that's going to take away your competitive nature? Blah, blah, blah. He's like,
No.
no, I have guys. He went through like 15 to 20 different players. He goes, this guy won a state title. This guy won a state title. This guy won a state title. I have no worries about any of my guys wanting to compete and win championships.
That's right. And look, I mean, he's been the last 2 times. He's been in the semifinal. And I think, he has brought that brand back. That Texas brand before he got there was pretty down and out.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it really was a joke. And Oklahoma was embarrassing them in every fashion. So he's come in and really changed the fortunes of Texas. And he gets these great players. It's March Manning's going to be a lot of eyes are going to be on that kid. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him, but I think he's got the mentality to handle it. And I think that's kind of what you can say about our guy here at Florida, Lagway. He jumps in there. He goes 6-1 as a player last year, and the game he didn't win was the game he didn't finish. So he's one of those guys that steps up and answers the challenge. So I like. I think that's great. I mean, the guy Graham Mertz gets hurt, and here he is. There's DJ Lagway, probably getting into the game a lot sooner than he probably thought he would, and he responded quite well. So it's that mentality that I think you have to have on a football team to win. That kind of mentality. And I think that's what you'll have at Texas. They're going to win a lot of games. I think Georgia probably will be okay with their guy Gunner. I think South Carolina found a guy that can win some games. I don't know if he's the best quarterback on earth, but he'll win some games. They won 9 last year and killed Clemson. So I like some of these quarterbacks we have in this league, QB. I think this league is full of really exciting players and some guys that are going to really do some special things this year.
Another great thing that came out of there, JC, have you ever heard of the Texas defensive back Michael Taff?
No.
Okay,
No.
well, he was a walk-on.
I got to read my book, man. I haven't had.
He was a walk-on. He's now an All-American, little white kid, plays defensive back for them. But Sark went on and on and on about him. He won a state title at Westlake, blah blah blah. But he showed up at media day with a tie on, a burnt orange tie with all the initials of the campers and counselors who died at Camp Mystic in the Texas.
Oh my, that's.
But
nice.
this dude looks like he should be an accountant at some accounting firm. I mean, he is a little dude, but he is a baller.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey, same kind of guy. I
Ladd McConkey was a scholarship fast dude, JC.
I know, but did he look like a football player to you?
He did.
He did. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw this picture, you'd be like, what?
Who is that guy? So
Michael Taft.
So it's also Mississippi State and Alabama?
Correct. Today.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. A lot of question marks on both those two teams. So we'll see what the coaches have to say.
All right. So I saw this poll on Twitter, the biggest spenders in college football. They have the top 10. How many SEC teams do you think are in the top 10 in college spending?
7.
4.
Wow. Only 4.
Could you name those 4?
I'm going to say the bigger spenders would be LSU.
Nope.
How about Tennessee?
Yep.
How about Tennessee? Okay. How about Texas A&M?
Yep.
How about Texas?
Yep.
And I'm going to go with Georgia.
Nope.
No. Okay. So I got 3 out of 4.
So here they are in order, starting at the most money spent in college football. The Texas Longhorns. Number 2, the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Number 3, Ohio State. 4, Oregon. 5, A&M's. I mean, in 6, well, these are tied for 5th. A&M and Miami. Tied for 7th, USC and Michigan. 9th is Tennessee. 10th is Auburn.
Okay, so you asked me about the SEC schools, and I missed Auburn.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, a lot of pressure on Hugh this year. He's got to win. He's kind of like the guy, Billy. They got to win 8 at least. Big test early in the year, dude. We talked about it already. LSU, Miami, boom, boom. Get done with these first 2 games and get the season going. I'm excited to see what they bring out. This is going to be probably the first year I've really had some high hopes, QB.
On what?
On Florida's chances to win 8 or more. I did not believe that would be the case last year. I sure as hell didn't think the year before. And now I think there's a real opportunity.
Did you see who Doring picked to win the national title?
No. But it just makes me laugh when I hear that because I know how his picks have gone in the last decade. But tell me.
Well, take a guess of who you think.
Okay, I think he probably picked Michigan.
The LSU Tigers.
Yeah. Well, he believes in Nussmeier. And Garrett's went to school here at Buchholz.
Well, he was in the 9th. He went there 1 year, Jason.
1 year? Yeah, he went to school there 1 year. But that's us only because his dad moved. Everybody moved to Texas. Yeah. Well, listen, I don't know. I mean, QB Brian Kelly is going to come out of the gate with a very hot game against the Clemson Tigers in their version of Death Valley, if you can call it that. That's true, right? They're playing that game at Clemson, or is it in Atlanta? Okay. So, I mean, it's like they just hop right into the fire and listen, he's got a lot of pressure on him, bro, to win this first game. He couldn't beat Florida State. They have a problem getting started over there at Louisiana State. So Clemson is going to be the best team in the ACC, right? I think it's safe. Cade Klubnik is going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. That's what they are talking about right now. So that means that LSU's probably got the toughest season opener of all the teams that are playing on that weekend. So good luck. And you need to win that game if you're a serious national championship contender.
Here I'm going to ask you this too. You know who else? Doring obviously has been listening to my program. You know he picked to be the SEC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Nope.
Who was your pick?
I didn't pick one, but who am I extremely high on at the quarterback position?
John Mateer.
John Mateer.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's fine, and that's a good pick. You gotta go with somebody.
He has Brent Venables being the SEC Coach of the Year.
So he's got Oklahoma and LSU at the top.
Well, he just says Oklahoma. He has Brent Venables being the Coach of the Year.
Well, that means they're going to beat Texas or probably win a lot of games. That's what that means. So that means also that they're going to be vastly improved up front on the lines of scrimmage and on defense. So if that's the case, then Oklahoma's back. That's all.
Well, Oklahoma's got the toughest schedules in all of college football.
Well, all these SEC
11,
teams.
The top 11 in America are all in the SEC.
Yes, right. Because of what
Florida has the toughest, yeah. Vanderbilt second, Oklahoma has the third toughest, Texas has the fourth.
Wow.
Arkansas fifth, Mississippi State sixth, Kentucky seventh, Georgia 8th, A&M 9, Alabama 10, LSU 11.
So he's got Texas with one of the toughest schedules, I guess, because of
this is from ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN because of the season opener, and then they've got 4 cream puffs until they play.
Yeah, but Texas goes to Ohio State, they go to Florida, they go to Georgia.
Where do they go? What'd you just say?
Texas goes to Ohio State,
yeah,
to Florida, yeah, to Georgia.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Ohio State game is what makes that what it is, because everybody in the SEC is going to play at somebody like that, right?
But we're talking about at Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama plays at Georgia. A lot of teams play at Georgia this year. Don't
be mad that Texas's schedule is harder than Alabama's.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, we'll find out. I think, look at who they play in between Ohio State and A&M. They have 3 practice games. So I guess that helps Arch Manning get into shape, because I think Ohio State is a tough team to open against. Now, the Ohio State's not the same team as last year. I'm sorry. They just lost too many players, but including the quarterback. But we'll see. I expect Texas to actually win that game, QB.
All right, here's another from Pro Football Focus. The top 10 offenses in college football.
Okay.
You want to know how many SEC teams are in the top 10 in offense?
6.
5 of the 6. I mean, 5 of the 10.
5. Okay.
You got the Clemson Tigers at 1.
Good
The
opener
Penn
for
State
us.
Nittany Lions at 2.
Ooh.
The
Drew Allen.
Longhorns at 3. Alabama at 4. The Mighty
Yeah.
Gators at 5.
Very
LSU at
surprised.
6. Notre Dame 7. I don't know how Notre Dame
Wait
can
a
ever
minute.
be
How did
one of the top
they have
offenses.
Alabama at 4?
Yeah. A&M at 8. Ohio State at 9. Oregon at 10. I don't know how anybody can think Notre Dame's going to have one of the top 10 offenses in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus right there.
Well, Pro Football Focus telling you about the college offenses. So
No. Pro Football Focus
What
does
is that?
all of college too now.
okay.
That's where all these people come with all these stats that this guy's the number 1 rated left tackle in America.
Metrics, yeah. Metrics, all that.
But
you're
again,
not-
I think Pro Football
not big
Focus
on
does
that.
a tremendous job. I don't know how they can grade any player when they
No.
don't know what the player's responsibility is on that play.
Well, you've never been into those types of predictions.
No. I like to look at eyeball test and watch tape,
Yeah.
which they do watch tape. But again,
Season hasn't started.
right. But they watch all last year. But what
I
I'm
know.
saying is, JC, they watch the game tapes of every game of every player and they get graded.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they grade those players when they don't know what the coach is telling them their assignment is. That's my point.
They got to fill content so people like you read it and tell.
I don't read it at all.
Well, you just told us about it.
Because it's the number 1 thing. When you watch the NFL game, when it says Patrick Mahomes, quarterback, Texas Tech, right underneath it says PFF number 2 ranked quarterback.
Okay.
It has that on every player. When you watch football, you don't watch. You're not very detail oriented. Andy's question on Facebook Live says, Shane, how much more difficult will it be for Arch that Texas has lost their top 3 receivers and 3 offensive line starters from last year? I don't think it'll be difficult at all because they're loaded with talent. I would play devil's advocate and say DJ Lagway lost his top 2 receivers.
But he's also getting his best receiver to play this year.
Okay, but my point is Texas lost players, but they have plenty of other dudes.
Well, and we have a dude that he didn't get to play with much coming in.
Again,
what? That's the fact.
That is a fact. But what I'm saying is it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Not going to matter.
I think it does matter to have Trey Wilson back in the lineup. I think that will matter.
Well, I do too, but the other 2 dudes were very, very good.
Yeah, and you're going to see more of this Mizell too. I believe he's going to have.
But I think when you look at what DK and Badger could do with their bodies, protecting, fighting off the defender with their body and still catching the ball, they had a unique skill that I haven't seen in a long time from those 2 guys.
Yeah.
So we will see. Baron 71 says Texas reloads, they don't rebuild. Yeah, I think Texas has the best roster in America. Kirby made a good point yesterday. 55% of their roster is made up of 1st and 2nd year players.
Yeah.
They're very, very young.
Well, I mean, listen, that's if you can play, you can play. Don't you always say that, QB?
They're going to have what you're going to see at Georgia to me is they're going to go back to old school Georgia football.
Oh yeah.
They're going to try to run it right down your throat.
Yeah. Well, take that pressure off of Gunner and see how they do. Yeah.
Josh from Wamama on our text line says, JC, if you were at SEC Media Days as a reporter, what question would you ask Billy and the players?
Wow. Oh, well, I'd have to prepare that because I'd want it to be a good question. But off the top of my head, I'd simply say, Coach Napier, up to this point, Florida hasn't met the expectations of its fan base. Why will they this year? And I'll let him just go off on a ramble. But I'd have a more specific question that I would actually prepare for those players. But I would say, Coach Napier, why will Florida be better than they've been in the last 4 years this year? And he'll tell us about the player groups. He'll talk about the running backs, wide receivers, and the quarterback. That's what he'll do. Then I'll follow that up by saying, defensively, they've been as bad as they've ever been in school history. Last year at the end of the season, Coach, we saw glimpses of what Florida's defense was before you got here. tell us how that's going to continue and who are going to be responsible, who are the players responsible for that. Something like that. I mean, something, off the cuff like that. But I think that's what people want to know. They want to know whether or not we can stop people and continue what they ended the year with, because they lost some players up front. And then they want to know, is this a year that we can actually expect big things, or is he just going to give us coach speak? Give him the chance to do that. And if he bails, then you prod with a follow-up. And if you don't, you sit back and you just do what all the print guys do and then let someone else ask the question.
The Pouncey twins, Mike and Marquise, invite you to try the mango martinis at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, handcrafted with their J.F. Hayden liqueurs. Try those flavors. Find your favorite at Shop.
Do you think those are good questions? I mean,
they're great questions, JC. Great questions.
Well, I mean, you're the media guy these days.
No, I just have a podcast. I do not ask questions to coaches or players.
You do comment though on
here's
every
game. Here's an interesting text on the Titan of our text line. I don't know who it's from. It says wants to know why Vanderbilt doesn't have a softball team. Just money, probably Title IX issues. It's just like the Gators are the only team that have a women's lacrosse team in the SEC.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt's the only one that doesn't have softball. All right, so Barone71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Pullman, says, I'd ask Napier if he understands the blood feud that the Florida-Miami rivalry is. It appears he was unaware of it last year's opener when Miami treated the game like the Super Bowl.
Here's his answer.
I'll be first to tell you, Barone.
I know his answer.
I'm from out of state. I don't give two craps about the Miami game. I never played against Miami.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That is it's a big rivalry.
It's a big rivalry, but if you don't play it every year, it's really worthless.
It does lose some of its luster, correct. But when they do play it, and they do, it is a huge rivalry, and probably more so on the Miami side, frankly. But with that being said, here's Billy's answer to that question. Well, I do now. And so that's really all
he knew. He knew we got our ass beat.
Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he did. I mean,
let me tell you, I'm going to say it again on this program. If you had a choice this year to either beat LSU or beat Miami, I am taking LSU 1,000 times.
Well, it's LSU. It's LSU.
Right, but there's some people on here that would prefer to beat Miami, but LSU is a conference game. It means a lot more.
Absolutely. No, that's absolutely right. I mean, you start off 3-0, you go into that Miami game expecting to win for sure, no doubt about it. And even if they're 2-1, they'll expect to win. So I growing up here, I'm very aware of the Miami rivalry. I saw many games in the Orange Bowl and here. But you're right. One of the things Coach Spurrier wanted to do, one of the two things he said we're going to do when we get, as he was giving us his introductory press conference, was we're going to put grass on the field and rip up that rug. And two, we're going to try to get back and play Miami on a consistent yearly basis. The problem became the Georgia game. Florida had to have 7 home games minimum in Florida's mind. And when Miami would have been
this year.
I know, but things are dramatically different 30 years later, financially speaking. But Miami, if you play them in the Orange Bowl and you have Georgia and Jacksonville, there was a chance that they'd only have 6 home games on the schedule. In those days, that was not acceptable. So, and Jeremy Foley made it very clear. He says we must have 7 home games. So it would have worked if they had just maybe thought about doing the road trip to Miami during a season where we had a more heavily balanced home schedule, but that never seemed to catch on, and they did not play that team for many, many years. And like I said, I think the Miami folks think of the Florida game a little bit differently than the Florida folks, but both schools don't really like each other. Miami has a game with Florida State every year, though. So that was they always said the reason why Florida State plays them every year is because Florida State doesn't have a common neutral side opponent on their schedule every year. And that to me is the reason they didn't get to play them every year.
Yeah. Barone says also, I understand I'm from Miami like so many Gators, and it's something we deal with daily. We should be playing them more. Look, I get that, Barone. I totally get it because I can't stand Miami. I don't really have a reason to. I just think they have the dumbest logo in the history of sports, and I think they have the worst fan base in all of sports because nobody that even goes to Miami even cares about their football program.
It's a small private school
No,
in
I know it
Florida.
is, but I can't stand them. But
Well,
I
they
hear
do have tradition, QB. You can't ignore
no,
their
they do.
past.
They had some really good teams, really good
Some
teams.
some of the best ever to play college football. So
Yeah.
I think
But
you
I
can't.
would say this. I would say this, and
Mhm.
somebody can either agree or disagree. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
Okay.
They had tremendous football teams, but they only had to win about one game a year, or
Yeah.
maybe two.
Well,
Maybe you had
FSU.
to beat Notre Dame, and maybe you had to beat Florida State. Other than that, you were playing Rutgers.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah. And
who
and let
else?
and
I
make
mean,
no
they were in the
mistake.
big
And
East. It was awful.
and remember, understand this: they were accepted into the ACC with Florida State under the
And they
guys
ain't won yet.
right that they would play each other in that game at some point, and it was going to be so great. And neither one and
JC, you have more Masters titles,
right.
the same amount of Masters titles as Miami does in ACC. How about
How about that?
that?
I mean,
Um,
if you listen to these guys do their podcasts down there at the University of
no, I
Miami,
ain't
and
listening to that.
I'm just saying, if you do, you would think they were or they are the stinking Dolphins. I mean, and that's the team that runs South Florida. It's the Dolphins. That's the only really. And so now it's the Panthers, Florida Panthers for sure. But
Okay, we got a lot of people here that want us to get to our Peachland Dental, Gator
woo,
Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte, surrounding areas. Go check them out at peachlanddental.com.
yeah,
We have the British Open, or the Open as they like to call it.
yeah,
Cranks up probably about 2 o'clock this morning coming up.
yeah. I'm gonna start it off since I had a better week last week than you for the second week in a row. Um, Give me Terrell Hatton.
Oh, I like him.
Terrell Hatton loves links golf. He's won the Dunhill Links Championship at St. Andrews 3 times. He's gonna play well in this. I've got to have him. Terrell.
Gosh dang it, I need to pull up, see who all's playing. I'm not
Well, QB,
prepared.
everybody's playing.
Well, I know, but I'm gonna go with Xander.
Okay. There goes my damn pen.
I want Xander.
This is what my pen has now become. You want Shoffley?
Yeah.
I'll put an X. I'm gonna take. I mean, QB. It's an obvious pick. I mean, the guy lived 60 miles away. He grew up there. Do you know that Roy McIlroy, when they played this in 2019 on his home course, which is what this is, he missed the cut? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He missed the cut. But he ain't missing the cut this time. Give me Roy.
All right, he played good last week.
I think he's relaxed over there. He likes it over there. That's home. That's where he's from.
Give me Sepp Straka.
Yeah, I played well last week. He did. He really had a good week over there in Scotland. I was happy for Gotserman or whatever his name is.
Got her up. Oklahoma Sooner.
Got her up. Yep, got her up. Good for him. Okay, so with that, I like the international players over there. Got to have an American somewhere. Actually, I don't have to, but I want to have an American. We've banned Scheffler.
Scotty, did you see Scotty's interview?
No, but the thing
You gotta
about
watch it. It's great. Scotty doesn't give a damn about he wants to win turns, but he's gonna celebrate for 2 minutes, then he doesn't care.
really,
That's what he says.
well, it's easy to do that when you've accomplished what he's accomplished already. He doesn't feel the pressure to win anymore. I think that may have been different 3-4 years ago. But good for him. He's got priorities that I guess are aligned with raising a strong family. I'm going to take Lowry. I mean, this guy won it 6 years ago, right? How do you not like his chances there?
Because that matters.
Well, I just think it makes it. He's
Give
very
me Bobby McIntyre.
Yeah. I can't believe this pen just exploded on me. I've got a pen that's in 5 pieces. Robert McIntyre. Okay. All right. I think I've caught a cold. The trip to Chicago.
You have COVID, JC.
Whatever. So let's see. I'm sure I've had COVID at least 3 or 4 times. It felt like a cold. Now this is tough. Just because I want Justin Thomas to play well. Give him to me. JT, roll Tide.
All right, Justin Thomas. I'm going to go with Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay. So you finally found an Englishman, and you have a Scot.
And then I have wherever
America.
Sepp Strock is from.
I think he's from Austria.
Yeah, I think you're
And
right.
then Terrell Hatton, Rory Lowry, Justin Thomas. All right, give me Vic Hovland.
I like him.
Yep.
All right, so that's 5. I got one more
Norwegian.
pick.
Who?
I have one more pick.
Okay.
I'm going with Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I had him last week. He was close. He was really close. That's a good pick. I tried to figure out between him and
Let's
Lowry.
take one guy that has to be like off everybody's
Radar.
Like
Okay.
you know all the odds, so he's got to be
I do.
like
I'm gonna
10,000 to 1 or something.
I'm going to go find a big underdog. So let's see here. This is exciting.
So exciting.
Well, you know what was exciting was that my Hard Rock app worked in Illinois because that is an approved state for the Hard Rock to operate in. So that was exciting for me. All right, I'm going to go with I tell you who's been playing really well here recently, and he hasn't won anything yet, but he is a United States Open champion. He won in Los Angeles. I think Wyndham Clark has found something. I think his game's
Wyndham Clark, he's a major champion.
He's a one-time U.S. Open champion, but he hasn't won much since then. But he hasn't played well either, and I think he's starting to play better. He's 10,000. He's 100 to 1. QB, is that good enough for you?
100 to 1.
Yeah, he's 100 to 1. QB, 100 to 1. Wyndham Clark. So that's going to be my big long odds.
I'm going to take Marco Pinge.
Okay, you just heard of him last week, and now you're going to take him.
Well, he's from over there.
Okay.
Somewhere from over there.
Okay.
I don't really know where.
That's all right. He's from over there.
He ain't from America. I know that. All right.
No.
So to recap, the Peachland Dental British Open picks on the tee from the USA, Johnny Cornell. I have Xander Schauffele,
Yes.
Rocca, Bobby McIntyre, Tommy Fleetwood, Matthew Fitzpatrick, and some dude named Marco Pinge.
Okay.
That's our long shot. JC has Terrell Hatton, Roy McIlroy, Shane Lowry, Justin Thomas, Vic Hovland, and his long shot is some guy that's a major champ, Wyndham Clark.
100 to 1. I just
Okay, what do you think Marco Pinge is then?
Yeah, I'll look that up too. But I just put $5 on Wyndham Clark to win 500. Why?
Vince says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon, must have 6 home games. It was never 7. We had 7 last year. I'm about 100%
So
sure.
I guess my premise was correct. Maybe my number was off a little bit, but my premise was about the game in Jacksonville.
I swear we had 7 home games last year.
Well,
maybe we didn't.
No, I think he's talking about during that Miami, when I was rambling about the Miami series not being on the schedule on a year-to-year basis because we had to have those. He says 6. I thought it was 7, but we had to have a certain number of home games. We had to have that, economically speaking. And it was because the Georgia game was always in Jacksonville, period. And if they had a home and home with Georgia, then the year Georgia played Florida here, we could have played Miami there, and vice versa. The year we played Georgia in Athens, we could have played Miami here. But Miami didn't care. They said, well, look, we play Florida State every year. Well, Florida State doesn't have a common opponent every year on a neutral site, you assholes. So I just, Miami fans don't care what Florida fans think. And I think Florida fans are starting to, after last year especially, feel the feeling is mutual for dislike in the U. And you just said yourself, you're not a big Miami guy. So, but I grew up.
I don't stress over that game. I'm more stressed about the LSU Tigers.
I totally get it. But growing up here, I'm telling you that Miami series was that they invented the word Gator hater. That came from Miami. Gator hater came from Miami. It all came from John Reeves and the flop. And on and on and on. They'll never forgive the Florida Gators for flopping to give John Reeve a chance to break a record. And it goes back. You can look it up. It's all in the history books. Miami was never a football power until a guy named Howard Schnellenberger showed up. Here I'm giving you Miami football history.
Yeah, we don't care about him.
Howard Schnellenberger shows up, and all of a sudden the University of Miami has a real football team because, believe me, they were not. But they played in the Orange Bowl. It got really good. You had Jim Kelly go there. You had great players everywhere go to the University of Miami.
Tony on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, JC, you should have worn a mask.
I should have worn a mask on the plane.
Yeah.
I think getting a cold is a common thing. I haven't had one in about a year and a half, but if I have one now, I'll just take some zinc. Zinc knocks out everything. So just take some zinc and carry on with your day. I plan on doing that. If I'm a super spreader, I'm a super spreader.
There's a text on the Titan Mark text line from William. He says, Shane, did you happen to see Arch Manning address the media yesterday? I did. I saw some of it. I don't know which. I'm sure he did it multiple times. Thought he handled himself very well.
Yeah.
You could tell he's been coached up by his family.
100%. Yeah. Texas will be great. They'll be good. This league is going to be so damn good. This is why Greg Sankey wants to have 16 4 automatics. He wants this league to be represented every year, and that's his job. And that's why everybody in America can't stand him. And I think it's great. I think he's doing a great job promoting and doing what he's supposed to for the Southeastern Conference. Good for you, Greg. I was never really a big Greg Sankey fan when he took over, but he's grown on me huge because he is representing this league. That is his biggest job and concern, and he only cares about doing what's best for this league. And so far, he's carried the water for college football.
Michael says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, if they wanted to get Miami on the schedule, I'm saying if he must be referring to Florida as they, Miami would be on the schedule. Everything else is noise. They were afraid to play them.
No, I already explained to him why we couldn't play them. It wasn't anything having to do with being afraid. It was because of economics, and that was due to the Georgia game. That is a fact. Nobody will convince me otherwise. That's it. That's the reason. So, but it's okay. Look, Miami fans can believe in the Tooth Fairy. It doesn't matter. What they did down here last year was impressive. The rematch happens in the 4th week. Just that's all I'm going to say.
Jimmy on the Titan More text line says, JC, are you going to tune in to the SEC network today to hear Kalen DeBoer speak?
I'm going to listen to him and Billy. I'm going to watch that today if I can get my work responsibilities. I've been gone for a couple of days, so I've got some things to catch up on. But I am going to watch it. I'm going to have it on in the background, and when Billy and Kalen DeBoer come up there, I'm going to be watching it. I hope they ask some real good questions and not just softball toss these guys. These coaches have to answer some questions. I mean, they expect 105,000 fans at their stadium. They expect 90,000 fans over here at their stadium. Then show us. Tell us why we need to show up. So we love it, though. We're going to show up anyway. But DeBoer's got pressure on him as well. I mean, 9 wins last year was 9 wins, but it was not to their standard. They did not win. They won some good games, blew out LSU and Georgia, lost some horrible games to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt. It's just that simple. So,
all right, last thing I want to ask you, JC, because Buddy and I had a discussion about this yesterday. You know, there's been a lot of heat on Hugh Freeze. People, I guess some fan or somebody found out and got like 8 to 10 of his scores during recruiting season from the golf course and like posted it somewhere. Like, I don't know if they looked at his gin or whatever, but you as a fan, would you care if Kalen DeBoer's hobby was playing golf?
I would absolutely not care.
Yeah.
Why does that matter? What matters is Saturday. And what matters is what happens on Saturday. What he does Monday through Sunday, I couldn't care less. As long as
he doesn't play golf during the football season. People, they're worried about what he's doing now or leading up to.
Right, and I get it, but these coaches know that these are the best jobs they'll ever have in their life, and coaches, all they want to do is coach. They don't want to do anything else in life. This is it. This is their life, and they have to be successful in order to be happy. In my opinion, they winning games is job security. That's as simple as that. Understatement.
All right, Michael says, JC, you guys are lying to yourselves. I'm a Gator too. You can admit it. It's okay. Nobody wanted to play Miami back then.
Well, Miami was better, but it wasn't about that. I already told you what it was about. I already told everybody what it was about. Now, whether you believe me or not is up to you, but I was there. I was in the media. I know all this. And the thing is that Miami, sure, they were damn good. But there were also years when Miami really was not good. And this was about Jeremy Foley insisting on having the minimum amount of home games for multiple reasons. And it was because of the Georgia game off campus. Every year they play the Georgia Bulldogs in Jacksonville unless there's a stadium renovation. We had that wonderful time when we got to go to Athens and Chris Doring and Danny Werfel blew Hines Ward out of the water. And then Zaire and the Bulldogs came down here in a rainstorm, and we blew them out here too. Almost got into a fight in the north parking lot before the game. Before that, so that was a home and home. It worked out great, but they insist on having that game in Jacksonville, and that's why they couldn't play Miami on a home and home. Period. End of story. Ask Pat Dooley; he'll tell you. You don't believe me?
Gary on the Titan Mark text line wants to know why you're wearing a Bears hat.
I just got back from Chicago, and I haven't taken my hat off yet. So,
did you buy it there?
No, this is my Chicago hat I wear when I go to Bears for Chicago land. Everybody thinks I'm a Chicago fan when I go to Chicago because I'll talk the Chicago noise. Hey, Caleb Williams, we got to have the year, man. We've got to win this year. Come on, Bears. I mean, we've got players now. I'm a Bear, right, when I'm in Chicago. So it was really kind of fun being with the Chicagoland folks. And listen, they're struggling. They have been suffering. They want a new stadium. Actually, Naperville, that would be a great place for a new stadium, actually, to tell you the truth. But they play on that lake, and it's rough down there. It's rough. So anyway, go Bears. Go Bears. And, we'll see how they do. I don't know. They're picked fourth in that division, QB, but they're better. They've got some players. Offensively, I think Ben Wilson's going to do – or Ben – Yeah, he's going to do some good things, I think, with that quarterback. Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's going to do great things with that quarterback. I believe it. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows what he's doing. And I think you got to believe as a former Bear that they're going to be better. Their season unraveled when that idiot was playing with the Washington fans and the Hail Mary happened. That's when their season came undone. That was a fluke because they didn't know they didn't execute that last play the way they should have. So anyway, the Bears were pretty decent last year until then. Then they fell apart. I think they keep it together this year. Remember, their coaching was miserable. Maybe the worst coaching staff in the NFL last year.
Agree.
No doubt about it. They were so bad, so unprepared, no idea what they were doing. I think that changes now. And I think they've got – look, Caleb Williams is an elite quarterback. He's going to do great things there, but he's got to have a chance. And he didn't have that with that coaching staff and those players. So
I agree.
Look.
All right, JC.
So, I mean, the wide receiver, the big tall Keenan Allen.
I don't think he's there anymore.
You don't think he's there? Okay, I thought
he left, but
they told me they were going to have. Okay,
maybe they do. I don't follow. I mean, I don't follow the NFL. But last year's skill guys were very, very good,
and they're going to have those guys. They're going to have those guys again. So I've got hopes for the Bears. That's why I'm wearing a Bears hat. I'll probably take it off now that this trip is over. I go to Chicago once a year, so let's see what happens.
Did you play your own ball play scramble?
Yes, we did. Well, not on Monday. We did on Sunday, and I shot a 39 on the front and a 43 on the back. Very disappointed.
What was the golf course?
It was called Crest Creek, and it was in Naperville, real close to downtown. Absolutely stunning country club facility. The weather was 82 degrees with a nice cool breeze. It was fabulous. The next day we played White Eagle. That indeed was a scramble format. We won it. So
you know my story about White Eagle, right, JC?
White Eagle? You have a story about it?
Yeah. Back in the day, they used to have the Celebrity Players Tour.
At White Eagle?
Just listen to the story. The tour, it used to be the people that played at Tahoe, although you had to be big time to get invited there. But they had 15 to 20 tournaments around the country where you play for money.
Oh.
Well, since it was in Chicago and I was with the Bears, this was in 1996. I got invited to play in it. Coach Spurrier was there, but we played the Michael Jordan Celebrity Classic there for 3-day tournament.
Wow.
I won. I beat Al Del Greco the last day.
Oh, yeah.
$25,000. Now it took a long time to get my money for some reason.
But that's a fun course, man. It's a fabulous course. And I've got a white crystal vase I'll bring on Friday, sitting over there in a box. I forgot to bring it because I was hurried this morning. But we won our little tournament, QB, just kind of like you won. So it looks like you and I own White Eagle.
Yes, I own it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's a great little facility. Not many people talk about it. It's in Naperville, which is a fabulous suburb of Chicago. Absolutely awesome place. So they got a little college there, too, called North Central College. They win national championships there, by the way.
I did not know that.
Division II. They won it in 24, 22, and 19.
All right. Have a good day, JC.
All right, brother.
That's JC joining us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. A quick timeout. We'll come back. I'll get to some more texts and questions and stuff to wrap this thing up. Don't forget the Gators go around 1 o'clock today. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Mathews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Meals Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Signs, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Coach, it always impressed me how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave Los Linderos Tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean head beer coach, 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Linderos Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Linderos Tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Linderos.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gallo Car Wash. It's locally owned by the UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Become a member and see why Gators hate love bugs. Getting a lot of comments today about Miami and people talking about people that live down there. They see tons of Gator license plates, bumper stickers, flags, whatever. Listen, it doesn't matter where you live in the state of Florida. The University of Florida is the premier university. We have thousands and thousands of alumni, and we are the flagship. So you're going to see that for sure. This Day in Sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life. Campus USA Credit Union. 2023 Wimbledon men's tennis and a classic 20-year-old Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz ends Novak Djokovic's 34-match win streak at the All England Club with his Wimbledon title. So that was This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Dan says he'd rather see Auburn back on the schedule than Miami. I agree with that. I don't know why I don't know when the last time we played Auburn. I can't even, well, I do remember now. It was that home game when Trask got injured. Emory Jones came in for a couple series. So that would have been, I think, Trask, maybe his junior year, when we beat Auburn at home. But I would love to see Auburn. I hadn't been to Auburn since I played. I mean, that's been a long time ago. So need to go back and check it out because I like that school. I like how it's so spread out. A lot of pretty land there in Auburn, Alabama, for sure. When there was one I had to read here. I'll just read this text. On the Titan More text line, this is from Joe. Joe, we get this question, I think, every show. Joe wants to know, which quarterback would you take in the SEC? Here's what I'm going to say again, Joe. I've said it multiple times. Maybe you're a new listener. If you are, we appreciate you joining the program. But I think the top 4 quarterbacks in the SEC, in no particular order, in my opinion, this is my opinion. This ain't On3, this ain't ESPN, this ain't SEC Network. My opinion, Nussmeier, Lagway, Mateer, and Arch Manning. Those are my 4. No particular order. I do think John Mateer is going to have a huge year because of the system they're going to play in, and he's a really good thrower of the football. So we'll see. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office team is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Don't forget today, the Gators are in Atlanta. Billy Napier between 1 and 1:45 will take the podium. You got Alabama, Mississippi State, the Gators, and Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma, I think, ends the day. So that's going to do it for today's program. We appreciate everybody chiming in, all the questions and comments. Can't get to all of them, but I try. Hope everybody enjoyed the All-Star game last night. But football season is right around the corner. Have a great day, folks. Take care.